Thank you. Again, though, I insist on retaining my title as high priest and spokesman for the town.
Yes, of course. We would never take, and spokesman, yes. While you're being a spokesman, we talked about it being twirled at Super Bowls, but it was actually worn in one.
Indeed it was. It was Super Bowl XIII. And before the game, I was in the locker room, and I hesitated to do this because, I know how big a Super Bowl, how big any regular season game is for the football players. On Sunday is when they prove themselves. But I went up to Mike Webster with a terrible towel, and I said, Mike, I don't want to be an intrusive factor here, so tell me to get lost by all means if you find this objectionable. But how's about wearing a terrible towel in your waist? Over his backside, tucked into the waist of his pants. And I said, would you consider that? He says, hey, that'd be great fun. Like you pointed out before, Merrill, you can't do that today. The uniform dress code outlaws it. He said, that'd be great fun. So here they come out on the field, and they line up for their first offensive play, and there's the terrible towel hanging from Mike's waist. And Bradshaw dries his hands on it. And as only Bradshaw could say, I believe. You could just hear Bradshaw with that, And a light drizzle began to fall, and Bradshaw was phenomenal. I mean, he threw touchdown pass after touchdown pass. And finally, the Steelers were up by 18 points, and there was about 7 minutes left on the clock. And I've never left the booth that early. I've been known to leave early in a runaway game so I can get ready for my locker room show, but I says, they're up by 18, and I know it's a madhouse at the Super Bowl when you get down to the field and trying to get in the locker room. What the heck, I may as well leave now. So I go down on the field, and I'm standing along the sideline at the Steeler bench. And Webby comes off the field after the ball had changed hands, and he hands me the terrible towel, which is now soaked. And he said, no need for this any longer. And he said it did a good job. So I said, yeah. I took the towel and I stuffed it in my briefcase. See, well, here come the Cowboys. Here they come. Oh, it was nerve-wracking, and I didn't know. I couldn't hear because if you've ever stood on the floor of a football stadium and with that crowd roaring, it's the most deafening sound. In a Super Bowl, whatever. It's so deafening. I couldn't hear the towel screaming, let me out, let me out. And to make a long story short, the Cowboys ended up losing by only 4 points, and 35-31. And it so happened that the Steelers fans had to lay 4.5 and more. And so, sticking the towel in a briefcase and not hearing it caused all those dear Steeler fans to blow their bets.
That will never happen again.
Some guy called. No, never. Some guy called. He says, Myron. He says, I love the towel. I love the Steelers, but you cost me $150.
Myron, this has been such a fun hour. Thank you so much.
By the way,
yes.
And the reason that they were able to come back was that prevent defense.
We
Lousy prevent defense.
We could do an hour on that.